Hi, my name is Lindsay, and I'm the Children's Church Director here at the Mile High Vineyard. And the purpose of this video is to help orient you to the curriculum that we use in our preschool classes. The curriculum that we use is called Grow, and we love using it because they have 4 core values that we feel fit very nicely within our 7 values here at Kidventure. And their 4 values are spending time with God, knowing and using your gifts, spending time with others, and sharing your story. And so as we take kids who grow, we just really hope that they learn to just, love Jesus with all their heart, soul, and mind and strength, and to really just want to follow him the rest of their lives. And Grow does this really well because they have their curriculum spans what they call a 3-year scope and sequence. So just know that what you're teaching on one Sunday is part of a larger strategy that they use, where over the course of 3 years, the kids are going to get to hear pretty much every major Bible story within the Bible. And what's great, what I also love about this curriculum is with families, is that what your preschoolers learning, the elementary kids are learning, and the toddlers are learning. So it's really great for families with kids in multiple ages, and the fact that they get to learn it on a level that is appropriate for their ages, but yet it's still just one story, so a parent's not having to run around like, wait, you learned it? No, okay, we're all on the same story. So it even helps the parents, I think, learn the story. Um, when we talk about curriculum, just know when I think about curriculum, I think of curriculum as a guide. Yes, we want to be very intentional with what it is that we do on Sunday. We want to have a plan. We want to talk about Jesus. And that's what our curriculum gives us. But the reality is the greatness, whether or not we feel like it's executed or kids like respond to it well, is going to be dependent on how well we show up with it. So, if we're prepared, we're praying about it, we're listening to the Holy Spirit, we're taking our time with the story and letting it sink within our own hearts, we're going to be able to come into teaching our kids and be able to really make it our own, be really energetic because we're excited and we know what we're talking about, versus if you just show up on a Sunday morning 5 minutes before kids start arriving and you're like, I don't know what we're doing, and you think you're just going to be able to read through the curriculum and knock it out of the park. So just know that really the success of the curriculum is not so much dependent upon what shows up in these papers, but rather what shows up within our own hearts when we show up on a Sunday. So I just really would want to encourage you, even before you show up on a Sunday, that you've taken time to prepare. I think about, Jay and Corey and all of our pastors that preach on a Sunday morning, they don't just show up on a Sunday morning and just like spew out whatever they're going to talk about. Like they spend time preparing, and that's just to a room full of adults that just sit there and stare at them. On Sunday mornings with the kids, we have specific discipleship opportunities with the kids. We get to interact with them, we get to ask them questions, we get to actually pray with them, like one-on-one or as a smaller group. And so, how much more so should we be preparing? Now, the great thing is because the curriculum's already written and because the curriculum and the supplies already come to you, you actually don't have to spend that much time. But I would encourage you to spend some time and to be willing to make it a priority to spend some time with the curriculum prior to Sunday, just so that you can show up well for the kids while you're there. So real quick, so I'm just going to walk you real quick with what the curriculum looks like. So this is like what the front page of your curriculum looks like. Every month there is a theme to our curriculum, which is great. Again, it matches across the board. So everybody this month would be learning, the heart of hero. And every curriculum has what they call a big idea. So every week it's a different big idea. So the theme stays the same every month, but then the big idea changes every week along with the Bible story. Now here's the deal. Occasionally I've heard, hey, like the theme, the Bible story, they don't always match. It's hard. Da, da, da. Bible stories first. Jesus is always going to be first in my book, right? So if you're like, I can't somehow connect this to the heart of a hero or the superhero theme, don't worry about superheroes, okay? Worry about Jesus. Okay? Jesus is more important than superheroes. So that's just my only little tip if you feel really stuck. But before you just decide not to do that, I would highly encourage you to talk to your coordinator. Like, hey, I'm feeling stuck. Can you help me think this through on how I can make this best connect? Or your coach, if you have a coach in your area, wherever you're at. So I just want you guys to think about that. And then this front page is really great because it gives you a listing of all the different types of activities. And for preschool, it gives you like different blocks of time, which is great. So it's like welcome time, your teaching time, your discussion time, and then your play time. So just so you guys know, our curriculum is based on around like a 90-minute time of teaching. But on Sunday mornings, we get, for most of our locations, only around 70 minutes. And that's like after you have welcome time or before you have welcome time plus worship and stuff like that. So we really probably with teaching have closer to like 50 minutes of time. So just know there's going to be way more in here than you can ever need on a Sunday, but that's great because that gives you more options in terms of what you can and cannot do with your kids. So when you get this, you will get the supplies needed for every single activity that you see on this sheet, because I want you to have that flexibility and that ability to choose like, hey, I think this would actually work better for my group today, or I feel more confident leading this versus that. So, or you're like, oh, like, I tried this activity, it actually didn't work, so I'm going to change it up for next service and do this instead. So I always provide you with more. But just remember, you don't have to get through everything. The goal of this isn't to cram as many activities down a kid's throat as you can, but rather to give them time to connect with Jesus as you're going through the activities. So this is the first page. So then this is the second page. And what you get on here is actually a list of all the different activities and the supplies needed for that activity. And then down here is kind of like what you need to do in advance. So what you will get from Central is you will get all the supplies up here except for the handful that I have told your coordinators that I expect you guys to have on hand on a regular basis. And then you will get like the pieces of paper and stuff like that. And then if it's an activity sheet that we can cut out ahead of time, we will. But if it's like blow up a balloon or do this or like put these things together, like you guys will actually be responsible for that. So what's great is this, even before Sunday, is you can look at this, what to do in advance to kind of give yourself a gauge of like, okay, what am I going to need to do when I show up on a Sunday to prepare my activity or craft or game or whatever to be ready for the kids on Sunday. And then it'll go right into the curriculum. So again, you can read, look through it, pick and choose. There's like 2 beginning activities, and you may decide, based on our time, I'm only going to start off with one. And these are great just, to introduce yourself to what's the story. And then it goes into the teaching time. And of course, I love that they give you a time marker for worship to remind yourself to do that. We always the big idea with the reveal. And then for your guys' age group, you have 2 options for your Bible story. So the first is always going to be, if you have a toddler Bible, if it's a story that's in there and you want to read it, I think that's great. I think preschoolers love stories. Pictures help them connect what they're hearing with what they're learning. Or if you guys really need to, there is a DVD of the story. Now, what I love about the DVD is the fact that the stories are still only 2 to 3 minutes. So we're not, we're not taking away all of your teaching time. We're not taking away relationship time. But we are giving you just another option of a story, especially if it's not a more familiar one that might be in a toddler Bible, or you just feel like it doesn't quite convey what we're trying to get at. You can always opt to the DVD for your story. And then, so again, it just goes through everything. I would highly always recommend, you do the prayer time. There's discussion that you can do while you're having snack with the kiddos. And then there's the memory verse with motions, which I love that they provide motions to all the memory verses for you guys. You can do that with the kids real quick. You can even add that closer to your beginning teaching time. And then there's some playtime, which you can pick and choose however many you have towards the end of the service if you want to continue engaging with the kids. And then with the digital copy so you'll find this on Planning Center for you to practice ahead of time, is you will actually get a copy of any visual aids that they're like, oh, you need this craft page or this coloring sheet or this picture. If they provide it in the curriculum, it will be provided for you on Planning Centers just so you know ahead of time, oh, this is what that page looks like, or this is what's going to look like, or this is the pieces that are going to fit together. Just again, a chance for you to be able to look through it and figure out okay, this is what we're doing on Sundays. All of your curriculum will come in one of these binders for the entire month. So you'll see they have week 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tabs or 4, whatever. They'll have the month labeled on it. So yes, everything will come in here. This will come back at the end of every month. And then anytime there's a paper thing and another great piece about our curriculum is that there is a parent take-home portion. So we really want to also help resource and equip our parents. And so every week there's a little card that will lay out what the kids have learned for the week. And then there's also these memory verse magnets that you can send home with each kid for the month. And then obviously any other activity pages that you have. So if it's a coloring page or a craft page or whatever, they usually come in a file folder similar to these, where everything is for the week is in one file folder. This is also actually where you'll find a copy of your DVD. If it's not in here, it'll be in the front pocket of your binder, but usually either there or in here. In week 1 will be your DVD for the month, because I send all the movies, all the videos down for the entire month together on one video. And then the only other resource that you will also get that you can use to help with your environment, you can hang it up in your classroom and take it down each week or whatever, is you will get a copy of the memory verse in a poster form that you can, again, I know proof, but it's great to help just add to your environment. It, matches everything. And it's just posted for people to see. So those are the resources that you will get with our preschool curriculum. So I hope that you guys found this helpful. If you ever have any questions, please ask your coordinator, just whatever questions you may have. So thank you guys so much.